What is going on? Hope you were having a beautiful day. Back with another video. Today I'm a little more mobile. I'm standing, I'm kind of walking around. It kind of hurts, but I'm gonna get some parts set up outside. This is a rare Washington day where it looks like it's partly cloudy. Don't get me wrong, okay? But it is like, it's approaching 70 degrees out here. This is rare for us Washingtonians this early in spring. So I'm gonna try and take advantage of that and hope that the paint stripper will work a little bit better since we got some heat going. Besides that, in today's video, we're gonna do that, and then I want to do this little project, which I can't remember if I filmed it one of the other videos. Here's the Broadway statics I got. You can tell they're obviously used, and as you can see, the rears are notched right there on the base. So what we're going to be doing to those, which I kind of want to try as a fun experiment, because I'm not, hurts to bend over, but I'm not exactly sure what that bottom is made out of, but I got some Duraglass kind of metal fiberglass body filler that I want to try, and kind of basically we're going to feather out around this area, and then we're gonna fill it in, smooth it out, and then once those are all done, which I need to find a good area to mix my different fillers and hardener. Usually you want a glass piece that you can use to mix it on so it stays clean, and then you can use some lacquer thinner to clean it. But I definitely want to try and do that today, because those coils are gonna be kind of getting like restored, so to say, where I'm just gonna fix the bottom of them where they're notched, give them a fresh paint, the springs are gonna come off, and then gonna get those powder coated so that way they're all pretty, make everything clean. So once they're on the car, which I got some new plans for the 350, kind of changing routes. As you can see, the wheels are obviously off. I think Braden mentioned in one video, if you watched it, that I am gonna be selling those. I already sold my modified upper control arms, which I regret already. That was stupid of me. But gonna be ordering some T37 Mark IIs, which are kind of like the more deep dish, so to say. They're only like 3-4 inch lips, T37s, and the plan is run those. Gonna do the 18 by 10.5 plus 12, pretty much no camber, maybe a little in the front, kind of like a little drift spec, but going down to 18s with Meteor tires, so it'll have a more aggressive fitment. It's gonna look cool, really excited. And then I want to get a matching set for these, which I'll insert a little picture somewhere yonder. Thank you, Madison, for that. Of the wheels, if you don't know what they are. No idea. I gotta still order them for this one at least, because I need to get it on the ground to make it move. I'm gonna be getting rid of all that rear camber you can see. And this angle, still tilted quite a bit. Got to get those axle spacers out since I won't need those. Not running too much camber. So let's get into it. I'm just really excited that it's super nice out, so it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna get some parts loaded. I can't really pick up anything too heavy quite yet, so don't know about the doors, the hood. Probably it's just a little awkward. If I could find someone to help me pick up some stuff, that'd be ideal. And then I need everything kind of stationed up at like hip level, so I'm not having to bend and whatnot. Kind of hurts, but oh man, this thing got me burping. Not sponsored by Ghost, but it could be. Matches the Z right now. It's good soup. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna set some stuff up, and at some point today, I'm gonna take advantage of this beautiful day and just do some garage organizing, because it's absolutely filthy. Can't wait to get everything sprayed in this epoxy kind of whatever sealer type of thing. I'm gonna lean up on this. That feels good. Yes, let's just get into doing something. All right. Okay, so here's the one I'm working on right now. You can see compared to this one, a lot more smoothed it out, brought it out about 1/2 inch down-ish and around. Gonna keep smoothing it out a little bit more, just using 36 grit, and then we'll move up to like an 80 or something just to kind of scuff it around that area. And then this is the filler right here. Just waiting. I'm gonna use this plastic to mix on just so we can keep it nice and clean. And that's about it. So I'm gonna finish this up real quick, and then we'll show when we lay down. Obviously, don't be trying to like build up if it's a big gash like this on an important part of a car, but like since this is, you can't make it any worse, so we're gonna see what happens. All right, I'm just gonna get some of this gobble gobble goo, make sure it's open. Sometimes they have a seal on it. Dang it, fat fingers keep hitting the button. So this is just a first kind of like little tester. It's a little runny on the top, but that's okay. Look at this, just lay it in. Just gonna try and build it up first. So before we even start trying to spread it all nicely, I'm just gonna try and build that and bridge it together a little bit. This stuff will harden pretty quickly, so if you get excess on areas that you don't necessarily want it, you can wipe them off before it starts to dry. Just gotta trust the process. Build it up nice, and then once it's built up, that's when we'll start getting it in there pretty sealed up good. Well, that does its thing. I'm gonna wipe off excess where we don't necessarily want a whole bunch of cleaning work. Even though it's gonna get resprayed over here, I just don't want a whole bunch of gabagoo all piled up in places it doesn't need to be. That's the first layer where we're just trying to build up over that, and then we'll take that back down, and then we'll use some more, and then keep repeating until eventually it is a hard, just flush, perfect. So in the meantime, I'll start kind of prepping this one up and clean up my table and go get my putty knife that I forgot. So we'll be right back, and we'll check in on how that does dry. And it should dry pretty quick because it's pretty warm out. Wow, it is such a beautiful day. It's almost 70 degrees. This is perfect. About to prep this one. That one's still doing some drying, and then then in the meantime, taking advantage of this nice weather to try and get the paint stripper to actually work. Since in the previous videos mentioned how it doesn't like working in the cold, this should be a perfect day, and I got all day to do this, so we're having a great day. We're vibing. I love life right now. So yeah, I'm excited for this. It's getting a little harder, but still, yeah, quite goopy. We're gonna wait for that to get all the way hard, so we'll get this one going. And then probably not today, since I don't really feel like it, honestly, but springs will come off. Maybe not in this video, maybe in this video, who knows? But we'll see what we can get done with these, get these finished today for sure. Okay, so we got that one caked up. One thing I'm not too excited about is I noticed where this one was notched, it went all the way to the point where you could see just a little bit of thread. Hopefully that doesn't end up screwing something up, but if it does, whatever, we'll figure out a way. This one I just started to kind of scratch it a bit to make sure it's pretty dry, and it definitely is. So we're gonna hit it with an 80. I'm not gonna use a block since it's circular. I'll try and keep the shape of around this as much as possible, just so we can keep going in our X's, keep it like, you know, make sure it stays to this shape, because we will need to end up doing more layers of this before. And after we do the layers of that, we're gonna top off, once it's like perfectly shaped, with a little bit of our ultra filler. That stuff is freaking goated. So once that's pretty perfect, we'll throw a layer of that on there, look for any pen holes or anything, and then we'll 320 it around it, and then at that point it'll be ready for paint. For the meantime, if I have any primer, which I don't think I have any of like the self-etching primer crap, but got some guide coat. So yeah, we'll probably get some primer tonight or tomorrow, and then put a little primer over it just so it's not sitting like that. So let's start smoothing this out. We'll see how that goes. The paint stripper still isn't working very good, so screw that. We're gonna focus on this for now. Gosh, that stuff is awesome. It just sands down so easy. So that's literally just the first layer, or whatever you want to call it, coat. But wow, I mean, you can see obviously right here, that's where it starts to dip in still a little bit. So I'm thinking just one more coat of that across this really nicely, and then we'll switch to our ultra filler. But what you want is you want to see like on this side right here where it's like, that's when you know it's feathered out really good. I mean, first of all, you can just feel it. Like right here, we see these hard lines. Obviously, if you were to spray something over that, you're gonna see that come through. But right here where it's feathered out, that's nice. And then we haven't even got to like just a little 320 around this whole area. We'll probably end up bringing this down quite a bit, just so when I do go to throw some primer on it, we keep it nice and clean. This was with like a little hole. I don't know exactly the sophisticated name or something for that, but I just taped it off because I didn't want this filler going in there. Probably take that, tape it flat. What you wanna do when you're sanding something like this, it's a small area, but you don't wanna sit there and just focus on just that area, because what's gonna end up happening is you're just gonna keep digging down and down into it. You want to try and bring it out as far as you can past this, so you keep it with the shape of it. And you kind of want to like, just what I was doing was kind of forming it in my hand and then going like this, and you kind of just like, you have to use the other hand to hold it down so it's not just rolling, but you're going past it, trying to keep this shape of it. Like I said, these don't need to be perfect. You're literally not even going to see it. This was more of a for fun slash like, if the car ever becomes a show car, then at least it'll have everything looking good. So this one, that's just about hard enough. Again, if you don't see it come up on your finger or anything, and it feels pretty hard, it's probably good to go. So that one, I'll give it a couple more minutes though, and we'll start doing another layer on this. We'll clean it back up so we're not just putting our filler over freaking a whole bunch of dust particles and stuff. And yeah, no, I'm actually really stoked. You can already see just from the side, like no more big notch. So that's looking good. Okay, so we're on our second layer that I sanded down, and you can see it is looking very good. And probably, to anyone that doesn't know what's going on, it probably doesn't look good, but that's looking very good. I mean, there's still some harsh lines here that need to be feathered out, but now we're gonna move on to this right here, ultra filler. This is the best stuff you can get for any kind of skin coating, body filler, whatever you need it for. We're just gonna do that nice and super tight over this, and then we're gonna 320 it. This one's gonna need a little more work. This is the one that, where you can see the thread coming through. And like I said, I hope that doesn't cause a problem when the thread goes to spin, and then hopefully it doesn't end up cracking through. If it does, so be it, we'll fix it. But yeah, this looks really good, love that. This stuff was the first stuff. I can't remember if I showed it close up. What I was using, the Duraglass, looks really gross, but works super good. Keep that closed up. So yeah, we're gonna I'll try and take a little video of me throwing a tight skim over this. I'll get a different little spreader since that one got a little mangled, but we're just gonna nice and tight right down this. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this real quick using my little spatula. I'm gonna turn the music down. Do a quick little mixy. Actually, put a little too much ultra filler, which is not super ideal because this stuff is a little spendy. So I don't want to waste it, but it's okay. Came out a little faster than I thought. I'm gonna keep mixing your hardener too until you see no more of that blue hardener in it. This ultra filler is kind of like almost like a off-white as it is, so once it's kind of mixed up with that blue, it should almost look a little greenish. If it looks a little more blue, then that means you use too much hardener. So like right now I'm looking at it and this is like pretty blue. So definitely use too much hardener. That's okay. It's just a little warm out today, so you don't want this to get too hard on you before you get it mixed properly. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of this. This isn't the best spreader to be using to get it really tight, but no worries. I'm applying quite a bit of pressure compared to the other one while you're spreading this. Kind of go with the shape of that. And then I like to come in and kind of use my finger to smooth out some of the stuff that builds up where you don't really need it to, just that way it saves you time when you're sanding it. Nice pressure, bring it around town. The spreader kind of sucks, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna use my finger and kind of go around the edges of this a little bit just to bring it down where we didn't really need to build up there, but we did anyways. Okay, that's good enough. That is going to be our first layer of ultra filler right there. You can see it's pretty blue. So once that's done, I gotta go get the 320. We'll 320 that. While that's drying, do the same thing to this one. I'm gonna work it a little bit more with that Duraglass that was on there before using the ultra filler. We'll get that, and then also I'm gonna do a quick cleanup here. Make sure you put your lid back on top of stuff. That way it doesn't end up getting stuff in it or all dried up. But yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. Your most ideal thing would be more of a spreader like this one, but I didn't clean it before, because with these they're flexible, so you can get like kind of a nice bend in it, and you can really kind of conform to that shape and make sure it's really tight just to avoid getting any pinholes or anything weird in it. So let's get the 320 ready, and then we'll start prepping this one out, and we should be about done here in not too long. It's only been about maybe 20 minutes of work time so far, if that, 20-30. Okay, I think I'm having some sort of senior moment. I can't find my 320, but I don't remember if I even bought it. So that might be why I can't find it, but I could have sworn I did. I don't know, but I found some 400. I got a couple sheets of it, so we're gonna rock with that. I just did a little touch-ups on this one that was kind of having a little bit of problems. That's looking pretty good. This one's all dried up now, feels awesome. So we're gonna 400 across this, which I can honestly just probably start doing a little bit right now. Go fireman, Kyle, if you're in there, go have fun. But yeah, so the same thing. Try and keep long strokes, keep moving directions, don't stay in just one sitting there. 400 kinda isn't the best, but it's the only good kind of intermediate. I hate this type of, when it says wet or dry, just know that it's literally just wet. The stuff sucks for it. The really good stuff is that 80 grit I was using that's in red rolls. It's a little pricey. It's like 80 bucks, or maybe it's like 60 bucks, but that stuff is just so good and it sticks to blocks really well, which I like. I might need to find a different option because this 400 is just not cutting it. And I don't know where my red Scotch Brite went, because I would use that on this, even though it's a little bit technically a higher grit. If you were to give it a grit, it's a lot more coarse and cuts through stuff easier. This is annoying. I mean, you can tell, feels where it is actually smoothing out. It's feeling so good. I mean, you're never gonna be able to tell there's anything there. Still gotta do that little tiny one back there. Let me do a search and try and use my big brain to remember if I could have sworn I had 320, and if it's not, this is why I need a toolbox in here, because right now everything's just like all over the place. I could have sworn it was sitting right there. But then again, that might have just been the 80 grit. It kind of blends in, it's red, so you got like a lot of red stuff all over the place. Trash. I am Dumbledore and dumbfounded right now because I don't know where it's at or if I even bought some. Might be in under yonder, maybe. No, I'm trying to remember why I even had it out, if I did have it out. Small probability that it could be in my bedroom. I don't remember, I got a pea-sized brain and it ain't operating right now, so if it's somewhere, just gonna say something. Well, I'm gonna go look for it in the house real quick. If not, tough it out with the 400, it's just gonna take a little longer. I don't wanna waste daylight. It's only Washington where it can be 70 degrees today and then pouring rain tomorrow. All right, to solve our little dilemma, I just used some worn out 80 because mathematically that makes it about 150, right? And then after I went over it with that, then I went over it with the 400, which still sucks. But golly geez Louise, I wish you could feel this like through the screen. So soft, so satisfying compared to when it was that big old chunk of whatever. But you can tell, well, you probably can't tell, but just feeling it, little bump coming right up in here. I might have went a little too much on this top, which created a little bit of a divot. I don't want to really get too much into that and like rebuilding that, because as it is, so you can see if you're looking dead on at it, so this side goes pretty perfectly straight up. This side you can follow it and see it come in just a little bit. So I'd rather dug a little too much into that, where I can keep taking a little bit off of this, which I probably will, just to make sure I can get that perfectly straight. But very happy with how it's turning out. And this little one will be just a cakewalk compared to how big that was. Now, some questions you may be thinking: will this actually stay good when it's bouncing around with 48K suspension? Great question. I have no idea. So, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. These are in the front too. So when it's up in the car, that side where it's actually notched, well, I guess that is on the facing side, but when you're looking through the wheel, yeah, you might still see it, who knows? I can sit here and guess all day, but realistically, won't know till we know. I think it'll be fine, keyword think. If it does end up cracking through the paint, we'll probably try and repair it one more time. If that doesn't work, we'll end up like welding something in there to fill it. Just so in the future, if this car ever is a full-blown show car, which I hope it to be, but it's not ever gonna be that with wrap, because no matter what, with wrap, I don't care what anyone says, look at that orange peel reflection. Yeah, nasty. I want paint, I want high quality paint. So we'll see. I'm gonna quickly just finish up this one, and then we'll get on to the little one. But I don't wanna bore you too much with doing one thing, and I also do gotta do some stripping on that, which I won't really show. But I think I'm gonna run into town, go to AutoZone, get some primer, mask off of this and up, and then try and save the little sticker, see if I can clean it up and then mask around it. But I would like to shoot this all around with primer. We just got to scuff up everything else with like rather red Scotch-Brite or just something to make sure the primer adheres to it properly. But yeah, so as soon as I get this dialed in, we'll run into town, get that. I got a little bit of a mess to clean up, but other than that, it's coming out very good. Okay, so it's a little bit later in the day, as you might be able to tell by the sky. I got kind of distracted and I was just working on the coils. So I was like, oh shoot, I better pick up the camera. So here is one that I haven't sprayed any color on, just primer, sitting up there, looking all pretty. Very impressed with how it came out in terms of like, I mean, you'd never know that those notches were there. I know the lighting's not gonna pick it up. This one, I just threw one layer of just black, went very heavy on it. As you can see, it's probably gonna have some runs. Don't worry about right in there, that's actually tape, where it was taped off a sticker that was still on there. But we'll see how that dries. Obviously, this isn't the most ideal conditions, so to say. It's nighttime, it's a lot colder, there's mosquitoes flying everywhere. I mean, if it stays looking like that, we're chilling. I mean, it's obviously nothing to brag about, but better than it was, that's for sure. It was kind of hard to get up under there a little bit. There's still, you can see a spot dry. I'm gonna lay a coat on that one and then let those sit for a bit. One reason I'm kind of in a rush is because starting tomorrow, because like classic Washington, it's going back to rain, so I don't want to really be doing this in the garage, getting out of breath easily now that I haven't been mobile a lot. I'm gonna throw a layer on that other one, and then I'm gonna start a campfire out there. Big Body Brad and Evan are gonna come by. We're gonna cook s'mores for Braden's birthday. It's gonna be a good time. And we're just gonna let those babies kind of hang right there, and hopefully it doesn't start raining, which it shouldn't, because it's still very clear out, which makes me super mad that it's gonna rain tomorrow, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go throw one on that, and then we'll see what's going on from there. All right, riddle me this. What's better than having a beautiful sunny day working on the car, ending it with a fire that I just started that looks like crap? But we went teepee style. Feeling a little adventurous today. Beautiful. Well, it's actually not beautiful, but it will be in a couple minutes. Give me a couple seconds and some gasoline, and we'll get this going. Hang on. I'm just joshing. I didn't use any gasoline. I'm not a weirdo, because I'm gonna roast some mellows on this. What a pretty night. I mean, it just looks dark, but if you were here IRL, you could tell it's pretty. Beautiful fire. What was that? Flash of light. Am I tweaking? I feel like this place is low-key haunted. It's kind of spooky out here, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up. There's like this, oh yeah, it will kind of. See that majestically scary looking fog coming off the window? It's fog, it's not part of the smoke, because it was like that before I started the fire. That's mad spooky. And then as cars are driving by, I can see like the ground is just like, I keep hearing weird noises. Why do I feel like I need my gun? No, I don't. Maybe, who knows. Yeah, and then you can see as the fire smoke was going up, it was kind of like filling out in the road. If I get attacked by a coyote, at least I get to look at this beautiful fire. I wonder if Chief Keef liked TP style. I feel like he would have. See what I mean? Look at that. Spooky. And it's going out yonder over there. Well, at least I know if something happens, we got our nice firemen over there to come help us. But like I said, I feel like Chief Keef was a, what do you call it, a TP type of dude. Well, that's Braden, because he actually studied Chief Keefiology in high school, so I think he should have a good answer for us. Before I tell you happy birthday, important question. No, do you think Chief Keef was more of a TP guy or like a log cabin?
Chief Keef, a tiki guy?
Like a TP, you know, like certain, or like a...
If Chief Keef were to make a fire?
Yeah. You took Chief Keefiology, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Is that even a thing?
I'd say probably teepee, honestly.
TP? That's what I figured.
Well, think about it.
That's what I went with. I was just...
Yeah, I feel like if Chief Keef were to make a fire, taking a log cabin would take too much time and it just wouldn't be effective.
Well, there we have it, people. Now we gotta get this thing roaring now.